Well, fire damaged an apartment complex and vehicles in Bishop over the weekend. Press release from the Bishop Police Department states that Sunday at approximately 3:22 a.m., units from the Bishop Volunteer Fire Department as well as the Bishop Police Department responded to the area of the 100 block of Edward Street off West Line Street in Bishop, and this was for a reported residential structure fire. Press release notes that upon arrival, units found a multi-residential structure fully involved in flames. Bishop Fire Department units, with the assistance of the Big Pine Fire Department and CAL FIRE, worked to extinguish the blaze, while units from the Bishop Police Department and the Inyo County Sheriff's Department evacuated numerous residents from the area. Now, there were no injuries reported. The apartment building, however, was left with major damage, and as a result of the fire, several vehicles parked at the complex were destroyed. Press release notes that the investigation into the cause of the fire is continuing, and anyone with additional information encouraged to contact the Bishop Police Department at 760-873-5866. Well, Inyo and Mono counties each have one contested supervisory seat. Mammoth Lakes has 2 openings and 4 candidates for the town council. And after a ballot snafu, an extra dedicated ballot just to make sure Mammoth voters get it right, voting for only 2 candidates. Let's start off in Inyo County. Inyo supervisory districts 4 and 5, Mark Tillemans and Matt Kingsley, they are running uncontested. Now, District 2 Superincumbent Jeff Griffiths is taking on challenger Russ Aldridge. In Mono County, Mono supervisory districts 2 and 3, Fred Stump and Bob Gardner are running uncontested, while District 4 incumbent Tim Fesco will face off against John Peters and Bob Thames. Mammoth Town Council candidates listed on the ballot are Jennifer Burrows, Cleland Hoff, and Bill Saucer. Now, the write-in candidate is Brent Truax. He's going to be helping his cause by offering rides to the Mammoth voting polling place, Mammoth High School. Now, these posts will be sharing the ballot with candidates for the California Assembly, Senate, and House of Representatives. There's also the presidential primary. Now, Cammie Foote, the Inyo County Registrar of Voters, said people have been registering to vote in unprecedented numbers. Now, since this is a primary and not a general election, the top 2 vote getters for Senate, House of Representatives, and California Assembly Districts 5 and 26, as well as for Mono and Inyo counties respectively, will appear on the November ballot. Now, candidates for the House include incumbent Paul Cook, as well as Tim Donnelly, John Pinkerton, Rita Ramirez, and Roger LaPlante. Mono County candidates for State Assembly District 5 are Robert Carabas, Kai Ellsworth, incumbent Frank Bigelow, as well as Mark Biden. Candidates for Inyo's 26th district are incumbent Devin Mathis, Ruben Massareno, as well as Rudy Mendoza. Thank Deb Murphy for that information. Her full story is posted on our website, sierrawave.net. Deb also filed this story. In its efforts to maximize the transient occupancy tax and tourism business improvement district revenues, Mammoth Lakes Town Council has run into a brick wall called Airbnb. Now, Mammoth Town Manager Dan Holler presented a revised draft agreement with the website at last Wednesday's meeting, describing it as not perfect, an agreement that, quote, would not get us as far as we would like, end quote. Now, major issues are Airbnb's refusal to collect T-bid funds and lack of transparency, basically allowing illegal rentals to remain illegal. Now, Mammoth Town Council members weren't crazy about the agreement. Area property managers even less so. John Morris of Snow Creek explained that Airbnb is, quote, no different than any other business. We're just asking for an equal playing field. We have to comply with ordinances, end quote. And he noted that so should the International Online Rental Company. Now, said Greg Martino, this agreement isn't just not so great, it's terrible. Now, the number of Mono County Airbnb listings is over 1,000, with 300 plus each in Mammoth, June Lake, and Lee Vining, and 9 in Bridgeport. Inyo County numbers aren't that staggering, but still represent potential TOT revenue for the county. Bishop has 23 rentals with Big Pine and Independence at 11, Lone Pine has 10, and Airbnb is just one of many online rental sites. You can see Deb's full story on our website, sierrawave.net. Well, the press release notes that the Mammoth Community Water District takes pride in providing quality water and sewer services to the community of Mammoth Lakes. And during this construction season, the Mammoth Community Water District will be making water and sewer collection system improvements throughout the town of Mammoth Lakes. The replacement and improvement schedule for this summer includes water service lateral replacements in the Laurel Mountain Road, Justic Pines Court, as well as Tavern Road, Shady Rest Road, and Old Mammoth Road neighborhoods, rehabilitating and improving waste handling tanks at the wastewater treatment plant, installing a new pressure reducing vault near the intersection of Woodcrest Trail and Ranch Road, and installing a new water main near Canyon Lodge at the parking lot to remove a portion of steel water main still in service. District crews will be working between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. Press release asks that please drive carefully around the crews. If you would like more information, you can call 760-934-2596 extension 290. Also, the Mammoth Community Water District's Consumer Competence Report on water quality during 2015, now available at the district's reception and permit desk, as well as at the Mammoth Lakes Public Library. The review can also be viewed or downloaded from the district's website, that report. Now, water delivered by the Mammoth Community Water District in 2015 met all state and federal water quality standards. The report includes detailed information regarding the community's water supplies, such as where your water comes from, what constituents were detected in 2015, and how it compares to state and federal standards. For questions about the Consumer Confidence Report, you can contact the district during normal business hours at 760-934-2596. Well, Bob Church, a fixture at Big Pine schools for decades, is retiring. Deb Murphy wrote that co-workers and students, both current and former, of Big Pine schools were at the Helen Lund Square last Friday to recognize Bob Church's 33 years of service. Bob Church retiring as teacher, athletic director, girls softball coach, and girls basketball assistant coach, as well as a constant presence at the whole gamut of Big Pine athletic events. I wouldn't change a thing, Bob Church said of his long tenure in Big Pine. I never wanted to be anywhere else. So what will Church's retirement look like? Well, pretty much what the last 33 years looked like, just a little less structured. His retirement plans include substitute teaching, maybe a walk-on coaching position here and there, a trip to the Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, and the baseball equivalent in Cooperstown. He's going to do that with his brother, as well as rounding out the list of Major League Baseball fields he has yet to visit. Bob Church started as a special education teacher in 1983 and taught in both the middle and high schools. The coaching started with flag football. Bob also scouted during the Warriors' run to the CIF Division Football semifinals and the JV Boys basketball, as well as coming on as the assistant football coach in 1984. That was the year Big Pine made it to the CIF semifinals. Bob Church coached volleyball, boys basketball, and settled in as head coach of the Lady Warriors softball team for 27 or 28 years. He and Dave Medham have swapped girls basketball coaching and assistant coaching duty for years, and the 2015-2016 Lady Warrior team went undefeated in winning the High-Low League title. Now, Church has seen some changes, obviously, over the last 33 years. When he started, the high school had an enrollment of 100. Now it's closer to 30, making it tough to field teams. But one thing that hasn't changed is the Big Pine Warrior pride. Recent teams have gone from High-Low League champions to seasons in the league basement, but the tenacity is always there. This year, his league champion Lady Warriors softball team represented nearly the entire girls' high school enrollment, including girls who had never played softball before. Now, Bob Church may live in Bishop. He said he realized if he lived in Big Pine, he'd probably have spent every waking hour either teaching, coaching, or shooting hoops with his students. But Bob Church, Deb Murphy notes, as a Piner in every sense of the word. On a personal note, I will say that Bob Church is as good as any coach I've ever dealt with in getting the results of his teams to the local media. And I'm sure that if Bob Church was in charge of getting the information out last Friday, Sierra Way Media might have actually known a little bit ahead of time before that retirement. We're hoping Bob Church, an all-around great guy, enjoys his retirement. He sure deserves it. We'll be back with more news.